Okay, welcome back to this fourth video in the series for Tableau Prep for Excel users. In this video, I'm going to be focusing purely on formulas and calculations inside of Tableau Prep. Now, in order to do that, you just need to open up Tableau Prep and we're going to be using the sample flow. But we're going to make a change to that flow so that you can build along with me and have a go at these calculations yourself. Yes, that's right. I'm going to be asking you to get stuck in. So let's open up this Superstore sample flow. And what I want you to do is I want you to take everything on the right-hand side that I've selected here. If I just zoom in so you can see that, I want you to right-click on it and I want you to remove it. We're going to start this flow using this position. So I'm just going to give you a few minutes just to do that. All right, we're there. So here we are. We're looking at this data set and already some data prep has been done. And if you watched the previous video, you'd now be familiar with the step flow. You'd also be familiar with how to bring data sets in. And in the future videos, we're going to be covering this union step. So don't worry too much about this particular step. But I just want to build on our understanding. I want to focus in on formulas and calculations. To add a calculation step, I'm just going to hit this plus icon and add a step after that particular step. Now, what will happen is that Tableau will do two things. If I just go back one step, and I click that icon and hit add step, it will open up this panel and it will add the step. It can sometimes be confusing because that change is almost instantaneous. You don't get any sort of animation into it. So it does that in one step. And the key thing here is because we've got no calculations in yet, this step won't have any icons along the top. If you look at the top here, this is a very sort of blank step. And more importantly, the changes here on the right-hand side should say 0, okay? So we've just added a step. It's called Clean 2, and there are no changes made just yet. Now, it might be frustrating you that it's called Clean 2. It frustrates me. So what you can do is you can double-click that and just call this Calculation Step, okay? You can also add a description. So if I zoom back out, sorry, there's a little bug there. If I zoom in, double click on the name, I can also then add a description. I can just type in, we're going to do some profit ratio calcs. Okay, this is useful for documenting your flow as you go along. So now we're starting to work with prep. I'm starting to show you some of the best practice you can do in your prep flow to help others understand what's going on. I'll zoom back out. And now that we've got our step and we've got the description and the name all set, we can click back on the step itself, start to understand what's going on. Now, in order to do a profit ratio calculation, I'm going to first need a set of values. The values I'll need are my sales, the total sales, and then I'll also need the profit from each individual sale. If I look at my data, I can look at it in one of three ways. This is probably not the most efficient way because I have to scroll across to check each and every column, and it's not a very easy way of reading that. I can actually switch over here to this third view, which shows a list view, and then I can just scroll down this and it's much, much easier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move my columns so they're side by side and I can more easily see them in the window. So now that I've found all my fields, I'm now going to try and bring these together. So I know sales is right at the end, profit is there, and I think quantity might be another useful field to have. Quantity is just right there. So quantity and profit are next to each other, but sales is all the way over here. If I go back to my sort of summary view, I can very simply just bring that in because I've still got it selected and just bring it across. The window will automatically sort of move across and I can just drop it in here in front of sales. Now, the one thing to be careful with in prep is when you drag and drop columns, you can sometimes drop them on each other. And when you do that, Tableau perceives that as an instruction. So just watch what happens. I'm going to take the product name and the product ID, and I'm going to drop them on top of each other. Tableau will actually merge those fields. You'll see here that it's got now a merged field. If I just see this, you can see here that it's now got a new sort of column ID and it's merged them. That's not what I wanted to do. If you look at this icon, that's the merge icon. That's not what I wanted to do. I did not want to merge those fields. So it's just be very careful when you click and drag items that you are explicitly dropping them where you need them and you're not sort of conflating particular operations with each other. So if I drag the cells, I need to look for this visual cue of the line. If you see this line here as I hover over, that's the line you need to be looking for, because that tells you that you're placing that column in between those two objects. Now we've got our cells column. To create a calculation, you can do this one of two ways. The easiest way is just to click on the column that you're probably going to use in your calculation and then create the calculated field just by clicking that blue icon. If you're familiar with Tableau, you'll be familiar with this calculation window. But if you're not, well, welcome. This is how calculations are done in Tableau. Now, for those of you who are Tableau users, this is going to immediately be slightly different, because one thing you have to remember is that Tableau Prep is doing most of its formulas and calculations at a row level of detail, okay? So if you instantly open this and your instinct is to type in sum of cells, you're going to get an error because there are no aggregations in this calculation window. The reason being, you're working at the row level of data. You're not aggregating anything just yet. There's a separate step required to do that. There's an aggregation step that aggregates columns up. But when you're working with raw data, you're working at the row level. So let's just remove that sum and leave it as so, okay? Now, I've also got the profit for each transaction in my data set. So I'm just going to type in profit, okay? And I'm just going to put profit divided by sales to give me the profit ratio. Okay, profit ratio. Okay, not ration, ratio even. Now, the thing to bear in mind is when you've built a calculation that works, Tableau will say that the calculation is valid. There are no new notifications. If I just do that and I delete that particular step, let's say, it's going to give me an error where it thinks it perceives it's unexpected text and it's highlighting cells because it's already had a calculation. It's not expecting another one without an instruction. So adding the division tells Tableau what's going on, and now that's no longer an error. If you want to close this sort of reference pane on the right-hand side, you can click this triangle just by doing that. If you know what you're doing, you can just close that to get a little bit more real estate. But I tend to keep it open because all the functions that you're familiar with in Excel are also here. So if I just take date functions, for example, they're pretty common. And I can actually see when I click on these an example of how that calculation should be written. So it's also a really helpful way for making sure the calculations are done correctly. Let me just close this particular reference pane. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to save, and I'm going to zoom back out. All new calculations appear on the left-hand side. Okay, so all new calculations appear on the left-hand side, and you can see here that they get this icon, which is a box with an equal sign. So you're starting to see this sort of iconography carry through. Anytime a calculated field is used, you get a box, and the icon in the box denotes what type of calculation that you've done. Okay, so that's a very basic calculation. Let's do another calculation, this time on dates. Dates are a pretty common thing in Excel, so let's go ahead and do a calculation based on that. Now, I could do a filter calculation. That would basically be a calculation that keeps dates that are true or false. So let's have a go and do that. Let's click calculation. And all I want to do is essentially create a Boolean field, okay? Now a Boolean field is a field which stores basically two types of data. Those two types are true and false, yes or no, on and off, binary fields essentially. And so if I want to create a filter, it can only do one of two things. Keep the things that meet the true criteria. So let's say today is Saturday. That would, in this case, be true. So that would keep this particular video, let's say, in YouTube's context. Let's say you only wanted to look at videos uploaded on a Monday. That calculation would generate this video as false. And so therefore this video wouldn't show up in those listings. It's the same thing here with filter calculations. You're essentially using a calculation to filter out a set of data. Now, what I also want to do is I also want to do a very basic test. If I look at my order date, I can move this around. I can see here that I've got date ranges from 2015 all the way to 2019. So what I'd like to do is filter out anything that is older than 2018. So I don't want any recent data in my data set. Okay. So let's take this date functions. And if we look down this list, you'll see here that I get obviously the ability to make a date. Okay. And that's fine. But I'm trying to figure out in my head, well, how am I going to do this calculation? Well, what I normally do is I normally enter a new row and I basically just write the calculation in human terms. So basically I want to check if the date for the order is greater than 2018. Okay. So that's basically how I'd do the calculation. So I already have the order date here in my view. Let me zoom in so it's easy to see. So I can absolutely go ahead and do that, but I don't have a date in my data set that I can use. So I'm going to need to use this date function to manually type in the date. So I'm going to drag that in. I'm going to double click that in actually. And I'm going to simply write in a date, and I'm going to use a text field to do this. So I'm just going to write 2018. I'm doing it in the format that I'm seeing here in the reference pane, -01. Okay. And I'm not going to bother with the time. It can actually make that a date time. I'm just going to keep that as is. And then I'm just going to bring that there. Now you can see that Tableau is saying this calculation is valid. So technically, this is going to generate a true or false return. And you can see here that it says this must return a Boolean value, true or false. Now, when I hit apply, we're going to get a new column. Okay, so I'm going to click save. And actually, we won't get a new column because this is a filter calculation. It's actually filtering the data set. So if we look at our order dates, you will see that it's only kept the values that start from the 1st of January 2018. So I actually wrote this calculation backwards. If I wanted it to do the right thing, I should have actually done this and even included the 1st of January just to keep that sort of nice and healthy. Hit save. You can see that my data changes, and now you only get 2015 onwards. I have this weird anomaly here where I have one transaction from that period, but that is because it actually falls on the 1st of January 2018. So just for my OCD, if I just remove that equals, which I thought would be a smart idea, hit save, and then I shouldn't see anything else. Perfect. So we pretty much have all the values. Because of the weird way it groups the data, it technically needs this sort of 1st of January 2018 as a buffer stop, but it doesn't have any values from that year. It just has 2017, 2016, and 2015, as you can see here in the tooltip. So this aggregated view is proving really handy because I can actually see what's going on. Now, I can change the spacing in these columns. This is not something I've shown you yet. You can change this spacing just to give certain columns a little bit more room if you're working with them a lot. Okay, so we've done two calculations. We've done a simple calculation and then we've done a filter calculation. The filter calculation doesn't appear in my columns. If I wanted that to appear, I could absolutely grab this calculation. I could copy it and this time create a calculated field. Okay, and if I just paste that, oh, it didn't happen. Oh, well, we'll get the practice in. Let's just type this again. Order date is, it's less than, and I need the date function. And then I just need to do speech marks, then type in the date 2018 -01 That's a valid calculation. I'll call this date filtering. So we can see a column name, click save, and there we go. Now, the challenge here is that this calculation is doing what this filter was doing. But if I want this filter to be available to the user, then I need the true and false values back in here. So let's say I want to go back several steps. Well, the right thing to do isn't to go back. It's just to click this delete icon, and this will delete that filter, and you'll see my false. and true values appearing. And the really cool thing here is you can actually see the highlighting going on here in this year's summary. So if I click on false, you'll see only 2018 is highlighted, and click on true, then you'll see all the other values get highlighted. That's how calculations are done in Tableau Prep. They're very, very simple. You can hop into some more advanced calculations as you get more and more advanced with your calculations. But the key thing, especially for those who've used Tableau very heavily, is that aggregations are not done inside of this calculation window. Whereas in Tableau Desktop, you can do aggregations inside of the calculation window. So just be aware that that's a meaningful difference. And the reason is we're working with data at a row level of detail. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it useful, hit subscribe. If not, drop a comment below. Let us know what kind of content you'd like to see on the channel. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one.